Hi everybody, Brett back with another sprue review. Let me get this camera straight. It decided to go crooked on me. ICM, we're finally getting them out of the Ukraine. And they're probably saying made in Ukraine now. This looks so cool to me. Arctic Cobra AH-1G. Kit number 32063. This is a 32nd scale helicopter. I'm not going to get into the debate between 32nd and 35th scale helicopters. Because yes, 35th scale helicopters go great with armor, but 32nd scale helicopters go great with aircraft. So who's right and who's wrong? As long as it's beautiful, I'll make it work no matter what I'm going to do with it. Anyway, love the box art. That would probably be the one I built. Check out them guns. That color, just wow. And I got shark's mouth. Anyway, a little bit about the aircraft. You can pause it and read it. It says it's got a length of 442 millimeters, wingspan 106, 241 parts. This side of the box shows the three of the schemes you can do. There's two different styles of shark mouth. Big mouth, little mouth. Let's open this. See what ICM is. Just like ICM of old, a box within a box. Look at that. There's one bag. Looks like 5 sprues. Instructions. Yes, my box is a little damaged, but it's just the bottom of a box. So. You see a little bag. Get everything out. Those who hate bag noise, that'll make you happy. Clear parts, bagged separately. And let's start with this fuselage. Oh, wow. Raised rivet detail. Recessed panel line and rivet detail. Venting. Nice instrument panel. Although I'd probably, cockpit tub with side instruments. I'd probably replace it. Quilting on the bulkhead. There's your 2 ejector seat backs. Wow. Let's zoom in here and see what we got. We got some lovely gray plastic. Recessed panel lines. Rivet detail all around those panels. Let me get back here. This is all raised rivets, as it should be, all the way around. There's your cockpit tub. Some of the detail. Backs of the seats, which look good. There's that quilted bulkhead. There's the fronts of those seats. This looks really nice. Okay. Next, sprue. Parts to the rotor. Landing gear skids, looks like 2 different kinds maybe. Instrument panels, bottom of the aircraft, intakes, stabilizers, for the rotor head. Not sure what this is. Let's start here with that again. Raised and recessed detail throughout. I'm assuming that's some of the rotor head parts. I'm not sure what these are. I assume they're part of the rotors too, but you can see they're molded at an angle. There's your... This is almost like a flat... It's not shiny at all in certain... It's like a semi-gloss plastic, except in some parts it looks more flat. But the detail's outstanding. There. instrument panel. There. Another instrument panel. Like I said, looks like two different sets of skis. One more heavy duty than other. This one's got thicker parts on it than this one. And then these stabilizers. Doesn't look like there's any raised ejector pins getting in the way. But check to find out for yourself. These, you see how they're molded. And this one has a line on it. I thought first was a burr line. But this one doesn't have a line on it, so maybe it's not a burr line. Maybe it's, those lines are supposed to be there. Check your references. Again, the stabilizers have raised rivet detail and recessed panel lines. Sweet. Alright, here we have rotors. You glue them together, your tails. Looks like two different tails. Tail rotor. Is that exhaust venting or intake venting? I think it's exhaust venting. Some more stabilizers. These are the ones that hold the weapons on the side. But, excuse me, let's start with the tails. You've got this tail here. Very nice. Recessed, raised rivets. Beautifully done. Then you've got this one, which has a heavier riveting detail, raised, much heavier than this one. And then again raised down here. And then this one's got these here that are raised. So two different tails, and they look like two different tails. Wouldn't take much to open those up if you wanted to. Your rotor blades, I don't think Cobras have much of a droop. I could be wrong. And then some various parts. Your tail rotor. Again, raised and recessed detail on the tail rotor. Here's the inside of where those ventings are, if you want to open them up. This looks like the nose turret part. I'm impressed. ICM continue to deliver. Okay, this is two matching sprues, which is sprue D twice. This has the rockets on it, the guns, more rockets, wheels for the tail wheel. Does it have a tail wheel? It's got a wheel somewhere. So, starting with the rocket tubes, you can see you've got raised detail for the head of the rockets and raised detail for the rear end of the rockets. Hope you can see that. Same with these tubes here. Guns. Here's some more rocket tips. Raised nicely. Bunch of small detail parts. Looks like a Gatling gun barrel. So, see all the fine delicate parts. There's the rocket tubes again. And as I said, two of those. And then the last, these, there's your Gatling guns. Gun. So, the end of the gun barrel tip right here is hollowed out and raised. You just can glue it onto here, two halves together. And your pod. Sweet, you can arm this up how you want. There are no pilots, nobody puts pilots in kits anymore, hardly at all. Unless they make a big deal out of it being a special thing. Clear parts are going to be amazingly clear because ICM does. There's the top. There's the sides. You've got some nice framing around there. Oh, you can see that. You've got a nice frosted framing around there, on there. Some other little small clear parts there, and you can see no distortion. No distortion. They did a good job with those clear parts. They're going right back in this bag. Now I haven't seen the decals yet. I'm hoping they're in the book. They are. I can see them right here. So all the red that's on there, you're going to paint, or orange, or it says deep red. These look like ICM's own decals. It says ICM right there. And there's no other markings. Not a lot of carrier film. They look good. Because you have to paint the red so it shows through. But fortunately, the red is the same. Hopefully the same for the mouth as it is for that. Army. You can very much read all those. There's your instrument panel decals. Not a lot of carrier film, like I said. Okay. And lastly, we have us an instruction book. ICM's instructions are usually pretty good. There are the color callouts for Revel and Tamiya and ICM paint. I don't know who makes ICM paint, but obviously it's not Revel or Tamiya. Okay, sprue map. Parts you're not going to use. And you're going to start with your seats. And does this have ejector seats? Maybe not, because how are you going to eject? Into the rotor blade? No, you're not. So no ejector seats. No ejection seats. Because, duh, eject into the rotor blade. So you're going to start with the seats. And color call out A for the tub is rubber black. It's the only color call it's giving you, but here giving you color call outs for the seat. So you do have color call outs, most of it. J, putting the cockpit and the instrument panels together. Pilot sits in back, gunner sits in front. Looks like your lower tour we have, but that's part of the rotor. So you're putting your rotor parts together, getting it all ready to go. So, one tail for marking options 1 and 2, one tail for marking option 3. So decide which marking option you're going to do so you have the right tail. It looks like you're putting the tail in and then putting the halves together, but I suppose there's nothing stopping you from putting the tail together if that works. Tail rotor going on. Main part of the rotor assembly going on. Cockpit going in. Bulkhead. Some more little parts going in the cockpit. You're putting your engine exhaust nozzle back in. Then you're putting your halves together. Looks like some armor plating for the side. Nose cone going on. This one for option 3, this one for option 1 and 2, this for option 1 here, this for option 3, So you got to be careful and pay attention. Maybe go through and circle what you want to do. Bottom plate going on. Gun turret going on. Of course, you're putting a gun turret together from option 1 and option 2 and 3. So again, it's not just strictly option 1, 2, and then 3. This is 1 and this is 2 and 3. Then your front wings going on together with your hard points. And going on. I wouldn't put the gun on until after you got it all painted, but there's putting your gun together. And then there's putting a pod underneath. Is that a fuel pod or just a pod? A tracking pod. Doesn't say. But for marking option 1, gets that. Okay, then you're doing more detail parts, you're doing more hard points. There's your close to your tail stabilizer. Again, option 3, option 1 and 2. Color that light K. There's your skids. Looks like you're only using the 1. Yes, you're not even using the narrower version of the skids, you're only using the 1 for all options. This is giving you some measurements you want to follow, which is for here, putting this thing in on the piece of glass. It needs to be 0.3 millimeters over this way, 4.9 from the end. Get some calipers out. Putting that on, which is always one of the tricky parts of any Cobra, putting that top glass on. Then your side glass, it doesn't, actually it does. There's an option for open, which is what this bar is, if you want to have it open. Same with this glass here, other side, if you want it open. Got a bar for that. And the venting for the engine, both sides, open or closed. So you can do it open or closed as well. Just covers where the rotor is, so you can see it or not see it. Putting your rotors together. I do all the painting before, unless it's all the same color, which the rotors are A, these parts are J, so no, it's not the same color. And it's telling you to paint it before you put it together, so there you go. Rotor on. Tires. See, they go on the insides of the skids. Learned something new, didn't I? That's why there's 4 tires. Again, those on after painting. This goes on. Oh, it's for towing. You don't have to use that. That's if you want to have a tow bar for the kit. Nice touch. That's how it goes in. And then there's your masks, your template. These are templates for the window masks. So you just put your tape over down, detack it, put your tape down, draw your line around, and then cut it out. I'll make a copy of this, put it on your tape and cut it out. Weapons, which one do you want to use? Your call, or which rocket tubes you're going to use. It doesn't say different versions. There's how your weapon hard points get loaded out. You decide. There's color scheme number 1. Big shark mouth. And it does look like, according to this, that the red is the same, which would make sense, because they would have put those on. Of course, they could have put them on with the red already in the paint. And there's color scheme number 2 with a smaller shark mouth. And there's your color callouts for your weapons. And lastly, no shark mouth, which is your choice. Color callouts for weapons. That's it. There you go. What a beautiful, beautiful looking kit. Look at that box art. Made in Ukraine. Go out and buy one of these. Put it together. How awesome is that going to look on yourself? Look, Black Knights. I want to do this soon. I really do. So, anyway, sit your ass at the bench. Build yourself a helicopter. Don't debate over the scale. Just have fun. You can make it work however you want. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Hope this is something you're thinking about. I know if Scott's watching, he's thinking about it. Thanks for watching.